Alright everybody, this is my first solo win of Season 4 of Warzone 2, and at the ending got a bit mental. I ended up having to fight not one but two RIOT shielders, and yeah, you'll want to stick around to the end to see that. But I'm also going to want to kind of just talk through my thought process in the more interesting parts of the match. Where things are going off. So I'm going to land out here. This is a place I really like to land in solos, just because it's reasonably quiet. You can get your loot pretty safely. You might have to pick maybe one or two enemies off at most. So if you're trying to get high kill games, it's not the best place to drop, but it's pretty safe. And if you see the building I've marked plus the 2 or 3 to the right of it, you can usually get enough money together from those buildings alone to then head to the buy station and get your loadout. So we've done some looting. You can see that I've got just over $8,000, so I can buy my loadout. I found a tactical mask, got a revive pistol, a couple of decent weapons and a perk package. I saw this player turn up here and I think he was going for the bounty and didn't bother because it was on the roof of that building. Tried to take some shots at him, trying to panic or jump out, but he just drives off, and I think, well, he's heading the same direction as me, heading towards the buy station. As I start to follow him, I also see a player somewhere ahead of me, just there between those two palm trees. You can just see his head moving along. I actually not sure where that player ends up going. He might have been killed by the car guy. But I'm taking my time, ADS walking to stay quiet. You can see that guy again near the tree. So I want to come up behind him. I know that the car guy has just bought a loadout. So I want to effectively try and take the player that I thought was in front of me out first, but as you can see, he's disappeared. I'm not sure. I believe those shots from the car guy. I'm not sure, like I say, if the car guy killed the other guy, or if he headed off to the right back into port. In a second, car guy, gets back in his car and starts heading back the way he came. So again, decides to take some shots. I'm on the driver's side, so I'm thinking I might be able to do a bit of damage. And he could just keep driving, but he for some reason decides to turn back, takes a little bit of cover behind the truck, takes a shot at me, but he's still weak. I don't know if he didn't have me in the plate or whether he didn't think, I'll plate up. He seemed pretty salty about dying for some reason, but he should have plated up. He had plates actually, there was at least one on the ground, but I suppose the one might not have been enough for him. So I'm going to take his weapons in case I get in any other fights in the meantime. Got a bit more cash off him, so now I'm going to head over and buy my own loadout. Recently I've been testing a few different guns. Like, I like to snipe, because they've recently banned explosive sniper rounds in ranked, so you can't one-shot in ranked. I want to get more and more used to using an AR SMG combo. So I've been testing different things out, and the Lightning 5.56 is the best AR in the game in my opinion right now. You can get away with one or two others. It's not an absolute broken meta kind of gotta use, but this is my build, and that's where I like to run. I'm running it with the Lightman sub, double Lightman loadout. Lightman sub, the ISO 45, now that I've got it leveled up and tried it out, is probably better. But the Lightman sub again is similar to in terms of meta. It's not necessarily the best, but it's completely viable. Still a strong weapon to use. Buy UAV as well. I'm going to head back in. I'm pretty much centre zone at this point. So I'm not in any real hurry to go push in players or get anywhere else on the map. I might as well carry an extra self just in case. So I'm going to head back to an area that's pretty much mid-map and see what happens. So I've been chilling in this building for quite a while, but like I say, I'm mid-map, I don't need to move, and I'm looking to get a win if I can. I'm not looking to go crazy running like a headless chicken trying to get kills. I hear a player, I believe, my bet he does some damage, but it doesn't do damage to him, it does damage to something, I'm not sure what. I was already suspicious that there was a player around because some of the doors I could see on the buildings out this window had opened, and I was like, those doors haven't been open all this time, so someone's knocking around. Chuck one Betty down there just to cover those two doors because they're the only two ways in to get to that staircase. But I do also then hear him taking the ladder to the roof, and in a second you see him drop down that window right there. So I'm just playing it slow, playing it quiet. I've got my trophy system if he decides to start chucking things up that balcony or through the windows. I probably should have popped the UAV in hindsight, and there we go. He starts dangling down from the roof. Quite a good idea, a little sneaky play. If I wasn't looking that way, I wouldn't have really expected it. We chase him, so I know I've got him weak. A little bit of a ring around the roses, and we kill him off. Pretty easy kill. But I then pick up this portable radar, chuck it down, get my revolve pistol back, and there's no one on it. After my first glance, I see no one on it. You look again, there's a red dot. Somehow again there's a player on my roof. I'm not sure where he came from, how he got there, whether he redeployed or come from Gulag, I don't know, but he does have decent guns. And lo and behold, there he is. He cracks me and also dual charges that side. He drops down, flanks me, and takes me out. Good play on his part, very good play. But where I went wrong was I threw down that portable radar and didn't pay enough attention to it. If I'd seen his red dot, I wouldn't have pushed those stairs and through that door as quickly. So yeah, I just needed to pay more attention to my minimap. I used the portable radar, and my one glance it was clear. The second glance, if I had took it, I would have seen a player was around. I would have played that a lot more cautiously. So now we're in the Gulag. When I prefer this side of the spawn, I tend to push this side first, take this head glitch, send my snapshot out, don't get a ping, so I know he's on the right. He probably thinks I'm on the right as well because he didn't hit. I'm aiming at the wall so as to not give away my position through my laser. Molly that side to stop his push, just check he's not coming all the way around. And now I'm expecting him to push the flag from that angle, which eventually he does, and some nice shots. At this point, what circle? Yeah, it was circle 5, so I know there's going to be another free loadout, and it's right next to basically, not far away from where I died, but I also think, well, I can land back on my loot because it's been a while. I was waiting in the Gulag for a while for a fight. So I'm going to take a punt that that guy has gone, because he seemed sweaty, he seemed like he'd pushed me and he'd move on to the next kill, which lo and behold he did. So I land, I've still got £8,000. I can get all my loot back, including perks, which is a great part of Warzone 2. The fact that you can get your perk package back, you don't have to get a loadout to get your perks. So I've got my guns back, got a portable buy if I wanted to use it, but the gas is about to move. Now from here on it does start to get a bit, this is where things start to pick up. I couldn't find my Bettys, obviously I think they both exploded, so I didn't have any in reserve to drop in my loot, so I pick up a frag just to have something. And it's always worth picking something up, even if it's something you don't really use, like a C4 or a frag. Just something, because in any situation you might wish you had a lethal. You know what I mean? When you're trying to push a room or you want to check a building, even if you just throw a frag into a room and it explodes and there was no one in there, at least you know no one's in there. Or you force them out. But if you don't have that lethal, you've got to push in yourself and put yourself at risk. So it's always worth picking something up. I'm just checking my back, because I expected someone else to be rotating with me out of port, on my right or my left. So I'm a bit cautious of crossing this open area. I probably could have used my smokes, and I think I do in a second when I push across to the taller buildings. This was probably unnecessary looting. I find a tempered vest, which is nice, but I probably didn't need to do that, to go in there to take time to loot, but it was reasonably safe in there. So we get across to this building. Take the door so we don't smash glass and give away our position through noise, and we see that the zone is pulling us further into city. We're going to go up to the roof to get a strong vantage point. Previously in the game I'd seen people fighting on this rooftop, and the rooftops currently to my right now. So I'm a bit wary of there being a player on these rooftops. Plus they're strong positions. You're going to expect players to be in strong positions, and that's what these rooftops are. That's the recon drone moving out of zone. Obviously there's a buy in front of me, sort of tempted to use it with so much money, but buy stations are risky plays all the time. So at this point, I've got a golden, I've got tempered, I've got my guns, perks. Besides buying a UAV or a self, probably not really worth the risk of going to the buy station, in my opinion. Because at this point in the game, a self-revive is probably not going to save you, because the guy killing you will be 2 foot in front of your face. So we're just moving across. We get a little bit of luck, like easily there could have been a player holding us from zone. I see that player. Took a few shots. Didn't manage to get an RV. But if he was already low on plates, now he might not have any more. So it's always worth taking those shots. Sometimes you don't want to take the shot. Especially if I had worse guns, if I didn't have good plates and gear, I wouldn't have took that shot because I know I'm weak. I need to use the element of surprise to get kills. But because I'm looted up and I'm prepped, I'm confident that I can take fights and win them. So we just got in zone in this building. Just taking our time, seeing if anyone pushes into us. No need to go flying out. Taking his time, just trying to locate an enemy before they locate me. Half the time in Warzone, no matter what gun you're using, how many times does just the guy who shoots first, who sees you first, get the kill? Quite often. So you just need to be as aware as you can, looking windows, doors, windows, all the time. Where is the next opponent coming from? And being prepared for them. Which, you notice that guy there, he didn't know I was in here. Element of surprise. He didn't even take a spot of damage because he didn't know I was in there. And if I'm not looking, if I just sat and was like, oh, where's the zone going to go? Where's the zone going to go? Then I don't get that kill. Because I'm staying mobile, staying alert, I pick up a kill. So now we're in zone here, so I'm not overly worried. If I had my bouncing betties, I'd be chucking them down in that room through that doorway, just in case anyone flanks me. I'd probably close that door and put a betty down in case anyone comes in. But luckily there's not really anyone about. 4 other players knocking around. I think one was on my roof. There's probably another player, or at least 2 players in the building that's also just got the corner of it in. And there might be one who's rotated a bit early, already across the way. I'm going to have to go. But currently the player on my roof is the one that is my biggest worry. Because if he stays up there, pulls his gas mask down, he can just beam me in the back as I'm trying to get into zone. So I decided to make a bit of a play using my golden gas mask. Something I couldn't really do. If I didn't have loot, if I didn't have the golden gas mask, I couldn't be doing this. So that's why just getting as much loot together is important. A good frag. Again, picking up the lethals came in really in handy there. Get a crack so I know he's got a drop and plate. I'm smoking, someone else is smoking. I use that smoke to rotate. I saw that riot shield there. I'm really thinking this is not going to end well because riot shielders, if you've not got a thermite or a semtex, as a solo they're difficult to take out. So your best bet is to third party them. So if they've got their back to you, you can shoot them, or they turn to you, someone else can shoot them. See, now it's the 1v2 and there's a riot shielder. There he is. Well, where's the third guy? And there he is, another riot shielder. He downs that one. I could have finished him, but I knew that a 1v1 versus riot shielder would be very difficult, so I let him live on purpose. Because I needed to play them off each other to try and get the kills. And try and kill both of them as quickly as possible, like 1-2. Because killing one or creating a 1v1 situation would have not been ideal for me. So I take some high ground knowing that it's harder for them to push. I don't know if they're using a gun secondary or maybe a knife. But we take our time, we kind of let them... It's kind of like catch-22. They can't full rush me because they kill each other. And neither of us can push the other because the third one's going to get the win. You know what I mean? So there's just currently a standoff. I know I've still got half a golden gas mask, so I'm a good chance of winning a bit of a gas ending. That one pushes me, I hear him coming, and take some shots through the smoke, get a bit of luck. And then this one flashes me, and again I get a little bit of luck because when I get flashed, I move a lot, stay on the view, I try and bounce this nade back to try and hit me in the back. As soon as I get flashed, I am moving right now, moving, so he can't get an easy shot on me. And then I turn and fire roughly where I think he is based on the audio, and luckily I get another dub. So if you enjoy this kind of video where I talk through what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, the things I'm doing, then give it a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!